Please subscribe to the Tutorial Mart channel and press the bell icon to get all the latest updates whenever I upload the video. So this is your first program. Write a program to calculate simple interest. So to calculate the simple interest, first we will include these two header files, stdio.h and conio.h. stdio.h means standard input output and conio means console input output. Standard input output.h header file helps to get us input from the keyboard and see the output on the screen. So what all functions that are included in stdio.h are these printf and scanf functions. Without this stdio.h we cannot execute the printf and scanf functions. Similarly, conio.h means console input output. Console is the black screen where the output will appear when you will run this program. So to see the output on that black screen and to get some input on that black screen, we include the conio.h header file. So these two header files will be always be included in the C program. After this, whenever we want to write a C program, we write that program in the main function. How we can see that this main is a function? Every function will have opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. This is the identification of the function. Every function in C will have opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. So we write void main. This is the way to declare the main function. The main function starts from this curly brace and it ends from this curly brace. So everything that we want to perform through our C program has to be included in these curly braces, the starting brace and the closing brace. So what we want to do, we want to calculate the simple interest. To calculate the simple interest, we need some variables. Variable means memory spaces where some value can be stored that can be changed. Variable name means something that can be varied or something that can be changed. So we declare four variables P, T, R, S, I. So what will happen? A memory for P will be created, a memory for T will be created, a memory for R will be created, and a memory for SI will be created. And what type of memory will be that? Float type of memory. Float means decimal numbers or fractional numbers can be stored in this memory. This memory is also of float type. Similarly, every memory is of float type because we declared every variable P, T, R, Si as of float type. All the four variables are of float type. So every memory can store decimal numbers or fractional numbers. If I have written int here in place of float, if I write int, then the memory will store all the integers and the integers cannot include decimal spaces or fractional numbers. So I don't want integers, I want fractional numbers or decimal numbers, therefore I used float here. Then I used CLR-SCR. CLR-SCR is a function that is also included in conio.h header file. That means clear the screen. How it is a function? It also has opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. Therefore, I can say that it is a function. Now, what is the task of this function? This function helps to clear the screen when we will see the output. Whenever we will run this program, the output will appear and that output should appear on a blank screen. That means if any previous output is there on that screen, that should get cleared before the output of this program appears. If you don't include this clear screen function, some previous output may also be appearing on that screen. We wish that previous output should be washed off before we run this program. So we use clear screen. Then this statement printf. Now printf is also a function. How? It also has an opening parenthesis and a closing parenthesis. Printf opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Therefore it is a function and stdio.h includes this function. Then I have written in the double quotes, see these are double quotes. In the double quotes I have written enter principal amount. Before calculating the simple interest, we should know the principal amount, rate of interest and time period for which you want to lend the money from the bank. So we will get input from the user. First, in the printf statement, I write enter principal amount. What will happen? The task of the printf function is to print whatever is written in the double quotes as it is on the screen. So here enter principal amount is written in the double quotes. So on the console screen, on the black screen, you will see this statement: enter principal amount. Like this, the output will appear. Here I must write the heading output. So whenever you will run this program, a black screen will come, and like this only the output will appear there. So this statement is executed now. Enter principal amount. Then scanf. Scanf is also a function, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Scanf is used to get the input from the user. Now how the user will enter the input, how the scanf will extract the input from the user. After the user will see this printf statement, he or she will enter some number. Now what kind of number will be that? Float number. Why? Because I have used P to represent principal amount, and P is of float type. So the user can either enter an integer number, or the user can either enter the float number. Why? Because user doesn't know what kind of implementation you have written in the program code. User can enter any of them, but if the user enters 2, it will automatically convert it to 2.000. Why? Because 2 is an integer, but the memory is of float type. To make 2 of float type, 0.000 up to 7 zeros. 7 zeros will automatically changes it to float type. If the user enters 2.5 for something, then it is already of float type, no need to change it to float type again. If the user enters any number of integer type, it will automatically be converted to float, and if it enters a float type, then it's all okay. So now the statement is scanf in the double quotes %f. %f means user, whatever the user inputs, it should be converted to float. %f is the format specifier for float values. Whenever the C program asks anything from the user, format specifiers are must to include in the scanf statement. If %f is written, that means whatever the user will input, it will get converted to float type. If %d is written, whatever the user input, it will be converted to integer type. If %c is written, then the user will enter a character. If %s is written, then the user will enter a string. What is a string? It is a collection of characters. So this is the basic knowledge of C programming. If you want to see a depth video on this format specifiers %d, %c, %f and %s, there is one more video that I have already uploaded in the playlist of C programming basic to advanced. You can watch that playlist, and there you will find the basics of C programming if you don't know them. So scanf %f in the double quotes, that means some float value is going to come here, and from where that float value will come? Automatically when the user will enter from the keyboard, that float value will come here. Now how to store that value in the place of P? Suppose user sees this statement printf enter principal amount, this statement will appear, and after this statement user write 7546.549. This is the value which user writes after seeing this statement. Obviously the user will write some value when he will see enter principal amount. So suppose user writes this value, then what will happen? This value is of float type, and this will be stored at the place of P. And P means address of P. Address of P means location of P. P is here. So in this memory location, that value will come 7546.549. So in the memory location of P, the user will enter the value. User will enter the value and it will be moved to address of P, and that value is of float type. I hope you are clear with this scanf statement now. Then printf enter rate of interest. Printf enter rate of interest. Enter rate of interest. Now whenever the user will see this enter rate of interest, whenever this statement will execute, user will again enter some value. Suppose user enters 5.74. What will happen? Because of this scanf statement, it is also a float value and it will be stored at the address of R. Address of R is here. That means R will get in the memory 5.74. Then printf enter time period. So this will be executed, enter time period. Suppose after seeing this printf statement, the scanf statement will execute and the user will enter some value. Suppose user enters 3.5, that means 3.5 years. So it is also a float value and it will be stored at the address of t. Address of t will get 3.5. Address of t means location of t, and that location of t will get a float value. This is how we'll read it. The address of p will get a float value, address of r will get a float value, address of t will get a float value. So these statements are executed. Now we come to this statement. This is the formula to calculate simple interest. What we do, we multiplied the principal amount, we multiplied it with time, we multiplied it with rate of interest, and after that we divided the result with 100. So SI is equals to 7546.549 multiplied with 3.5 multiplied with 5.74 divided by 100. So after the calculation, SI will get some value, and what kind of value will be that? As SI is of float type, the value of SI will be fractional, or we can say decimal number. So after this calculation, the result will be 1516.10169. Something of this kind will come after we multiply PTR and divide it by 100. So SI is having value 1516.10169. See, this will be calculated and there is a assignment operator here, equal to sign. Assignment operator, the working of assignment operator is, it will calculate the right hand side, and whatever the result will be, the right hand side result will be stored into the left hand side. Assignment operator works right to left. So this will be calculated first, result will calculated, and after the result is calculated, the result will be moved to the left hand side, and the left hand side has the variable SI. See, SI. So at the memory location of SI, the result will be stored. Now comes this statement. Printf, the simple interest is %f in the double quotes. See, in the double quotes I have written the simple interest is %f, and after the double quotes I have put a comma operator here, and then I have written SI. See this statement carefully. What will happen? The simple interest is %f. Till this point, the simple interest is colon. It will be executed, it will be printed directly. The simple interest is. See, till this point it is printed as it is. Now this %f, I told you whatever is there in the double quotes is printed directly on the screen, but here the case is different. The simple interest is %f is written in the double quotes, but only till this point it is printed directly on the screen. Why? Because here there is a format specifier. The format specifier never gets printed. Whether there is %f, %d, %c or %s, it will never get printed as it is on the screen. Instead, value will be printed. Now, how %f will be converted into value? After the closing of the double quotes, a comma is there, and after that comma, SI is written. So what will happen? SI will give its value to %f. This is how the working takes place. The simple interest is printed directly. In place of this format specifier of float %f, it will get some value. From where it will get some value? After the comma, there is one variable. That variable will give the value to %f. So what will get printed? In place of %f, value of SI. Value of SI is 1516.10169. 1516.10169. So this is how this printf statement will execute. After that, get ch. Get ch is also an inbuilt function like clear screen. What it will do, it will hold the output, it will hold the black screen wherever the output is appearing for you so that you can see the output. If you don't include this getch, the program will run, output will also come, but output will get vanished in a fraction of time, in a second of time the output will get vanished and you will not be able to see the output. To hold that output on the screen we use getch. Getch means get character. It is a function because opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. So getch means get character. Whenever you will press the enter key or any other character key from the keyboard, then the output will go away from the screen. But if you don't press any key, the output will remain there. So getch and after that closing brace of main. I hope you have understood each and every core concept of this program. But the main concentration point was float. Float uses decimal values. We declared 4 memory variables P, T, R, Si. The memory for them will be created and that can hold float value. Then printf statement executed directly. After the scanf, scanf will have a format specifier in the double quote. Whatever we have to store at the address of P, that means at the memory of P, the user will enter and that entered value will move to the address of P and that is a float value. Here also the user will enter rate of interest, that will move to the address of R and that address of R, at the address of R the value is float. This is how we write format specifiers. The format specifier will be same for the data type declared here. We use the data type float, so we will use %f, %f, %f. If we use the data type int, we used %d, %d, %d. Okay. Whatever the data type of the variables you have declared at, you have to use the format specifier for that data type only. I have described all this explanation in my another video of C programming that I have, the link is flashing on the top corner of the screen. You can navigate to that video from there if you are not able to understand the concept of format specifiers. So here we enter the principal amount, here we enter the rate, here we enter the time. After that the formula statement, the result is computed, it is transferred to the variable Si and after that the printf statement here, till here it is printed as it is. %f is a format specifier, so it will not get printed. Instead value will be printed, value will be transferred from this side Si, the value of Si will come here, that means 1516.10169. After that the output will remain on the screen and whenever you press the keyboard the program stops. This is how the working is taking place.